Hi, everybody. This is Samuel Warwick here, head of the Entertainment Treasure Talk podcast. And today, I think we need to do something a little bit different today. This is just going to be something today that I'm doing, just explaining my personal things that are, stuff and going on in my, concerns and. But yeah, this is a mental discussion. Now, normally, I don't normally do this on a podcast like this because this is a podcast where I talk about pop culture and interviewing people from pop culture and such like that. Well, today, this is actually something a little bit similar today. Because recently, we've had so many deaths happen in like under 2 years. Like I remember a bunch of people passing in 2024, such as, Shannon Daughtery. Oh my gosh, I don't know whom else, but yeah, Sharon Daughtery, O.J. Simpson, yeah, Benji, whatever, yeah, from Alf, Benji from Alf, and I'm trying to think whom else that year. Oh yeah, and Dr. Ruth. Yes, Dr. Ruth. And of course, others in 2024 like Tom McComas and of course Britt Offcroft. And then going into 2025, we had people such as, Dale Wilson and, oh my God, Jim Ward and Jeffrey Garcia, who died at the end of 2025. And then, of course, during that was, way before that was Michelle Trachtenberg. And then who knew that my father was going to be in that whole thing going on? And then now I'm seeing stuff like Trevor Davis, who was part of the Thomas community that passed and all that. And and I'm just here to say this. The devil has really is at it. Now the spirits are really coming out of the clouds, and they're really taking people from us today, right now. And honestly, I'm scared. I'm really scared. I am really scared. Anybody could, be next and could, pass away at any day now. And, we could not know it. And, seeing about all these deaths going on, I'm learning that, life is a chapter book. And, life is definitely a chapter book. We're definitely all a part of a story. Everyone has a story and a testimony in their life. And, we have to make the best of it, Yes, there are going to be days where, we don't want to, we don't want to get out of bed. We don't want to exist. And, that's tough, Some days we just feel sick. Some days, we just are just so sad. But now just seeing, I also want to touch on, I need to touch on more of the 2026, but, considering, now, seeing, oh my goodness, whom else? Oliver Tree, which I haven't really seen too much of. A few wrestlers. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'll have to go back and see all the people that have passed, but, and also, another big one, there was somebody from ALF, another one from ALF. I think, the last person from ALF that's standing is, the daughter of the Tanners from ALF. And, but also another one that hit me was, of course, most of you guys know a few days ago about Dave Chase's passing. That was just really sad, too. That was another shocker of mine. I remember I actually, watched Lilo for probably a good time, But Anyway, life is something, we have to enjoy, and we have to also support others as well. You know, now, and since, now being parentless at 25 years old and not having both my adoptive mother and father with me now, I'm finding out that, of course I knew life was hard, but, I'm exploring life a little more, and I'm finding out, well, you know, it's not, it's just, it's not easy. It's not easy to, when you're an autistic person, and, you haven't had a whole big support group in your life. It's absolutely horrible. And it hurts. Being an autistic dude and not having, relying, trying to have a lot of friends in your life that just, they haven't called you or asked you if you had have tea or not. You know, you know, like for a day, you need to ask me, would you like to go out to lunch today? Or would you like to have some dinner with me? Or would you like to go out with just a drink of tea? I've never really had that experience to come for. Like, I barely get that experience. I don't get a phone call from anybody. And you know what? It's horrible. It's just kind of lonely. You just feel left out. And you know, and I'm just going to say this, as humans, we need to come together, and we need to look at each other, and we need to, make a legacy and say, we all need to come together as a world and make a legacy, try to, we have to support each other, and, not support ourselves, but support each other as well. And, and I got this from, and I don't normally pay attention to this person, but, there was another person who I don't really talk about on here because it's a controversial thing, but, I was seeing something about the Kirks in my chat, and I don't care. Like I said, I don't really care about him that much. I don't care about him that much. I don't pay attention to politics, but you guys get my point. But yeah, I was seeing some things about it, and some people in the world were talking, saying, as a country, they need to come together. And we need, as a whole human race around the world, if you're listening, and for pop culture fans, we need to come together, and we need to support each other. For example, I'm going to show you. I'm going to just tell you, not show, but tell you guys. Okay, but you guys need to be more, accurately involved with the people that you're with. Like if somebody asks you and says, hey, would you like to go out with coffee today? Please be polite and just say yes. Or, hey, I have something I need to accomplish today. Do you think you can come help me with it? Say yes. Because the best thing to do is to just be polite and to say yes. Because you never know what that person is going through. Because as a whole human race, I think we have just become so, indulged. We've just been so, conceited into our personal life and what we believe in. And for example, just using politics and religion as an excuse for, behaviors, but, there's going to also be days where people are going to lash out and have a bad day. And some people are not supportive enough to do that. Like some people are saying you need to calm down. No. Don't say that to them. Be supportive. Be supportive and say, is there anything I can do to help you? You know? You need to be like that to them, and you need to support them. You know? But I just think that we need to come together and honor and cherish life and cherish the people that we're surrounded with. Give them respect. I'm sure most of them give you respect, and treat the people that are high functioning autism that don't have friends. If you're not autistic, try to treat them, because honestly, I hate to disrespect a lot of you guys, but I cannot say that the majority of you guys have done that. Even with the people that have autism like me, I cannot say you guys have been supportive like that. There has been quite a bit of you that have not been supportive of that. But I'm telling you today that, seeing all these deaths, I feel like, a lot of these people, including my dad and my parents, they deserved so much better. Yes, there were times that, my dad did very bad things and we didn't get along at times, but, try to work together. Because you never know when your last time on earth is, or you never know when your last time is with that person. That person could end up, something bad could end up happening, or they could end up, having a very bad day and feeling guilty about something, and then the next day they're gone. I just needed to get this off my chest, because I'm scared right now. I want to see, I want to see us all, happy. And, I want people that, on earth, make the best that it can have, make their life as happy as we can make it. And I feel like we're not doing that, And we kind of need to be supportive of each other, and we're not very supportively and accurate with each other. But, yeah. But I wanted to get this out there. Now, I'm going to ask that you please join me for this few seconds of a moment of silence. And we'll talk more. We'll be talking more about this, in future things as well, probably. So I will be mentioned, but, But anyway, please join me, please. And let's go on ahead and honor all these people that have moved on into our lives. Thank you. I hope that this video today was an encouragement. Like, if you're listening to this, I hope that this, short mini bonus episode here was, something you can take in. I don't know who was watching this, but today was something that needed to get out today. And I hope that, you guys have an awesome day. And try to cherish this message today, as, as I have talked to you guys today. Anyway, I hope that everybody has a awesome day. And, more episodes will be coming soon. And, I'll see everybody when I will see everyone. Have a great day.